Oh, hello there. Good evening.
Won't you join me for the grandest of events?
Welcome to the end of the book.
Certain man in Russia long ago. He was big and strong in his eyes of flaming glow.
Welcome back, guys. Today is the video that I and many of you I know have been waiting for. Today is the last day, or pretty much the official end of my bulk. My 2018 to 2019 bulk, my 2 years off from being in, actually men's physique competition prep mode. I took 2018 off. We're gonna talk about this video in 3 separate topics. Number 1 is going to be just the standard, what pretty much like a lot of you guys probably clicked on this video for determining what is my new, first of all, did I set a new bench press PR? And secondly, did I hit that goal of 365 pounds, which I've been talking about for quite a bit of time? Then we're gonna jump into okay, fine, strength aside, did the bulk succeed? How big did you get? Did you get what you originally aimed for, being as big as you possibly can, or as big as you have ever been in your life? And finally, we're gonna finish off with the powerlifting meet. What happened on the day of the powerlifting meet? How did I do in comparison to previous years when I competed in powerlifting back in 2016, back in 2014? How did my attempts do? Guys, we've got a lot to cover, so sit down, buckle the fuck up, because I gotta be honest, this one might go a little long. Okay guys, for this part, we're going to be focusing on the basic touch and go bench press. This is pretty much the standard for the YouTube community and like almost everybody's favorite lift. If you want examples, just think of guys like Steve Cook, David Lade, Christian Guzman, Omar Isuf, Brandon Harding, and most importantly, because this is actually the exercise form and equipment standard I'll be using in my personal attempt, we got Larry Wheels. Essentially, this means that nothing else really matters as long as you get the weight up with zero assistance from your spotter. Whether you keep your head or your butt on the bench, it doesn't matter, and the same goes for the use of equipment like wrist straps and elbow sleeves. Now, don't worry, relax. I can already hear a lot of you guys, typing out your hater comments like, Igor, that's such an ugly bench press, that doesn't count. For all you guys out there who want to see the pristine, perfect form bench press, we'll be doing that too just a bit later in the video for part 3 when we cover the powerlifting meet. So that way, it's kind of like we get the best of both worlds. That's okay, enough talk, let's get into the good stuff. This is me going for 315 pounds, my 1 rep max back in December. We all know I can do this, but the purpose of it here, pretty much I did this to see how difficult it is, what is the bar speed, and is today a good day to do this, or maybe unfortunately, I might have to pull the plug and try again in a few days when I'm feeling a little bit better. Unfortunately, as you guys are seeing right here, it went fucking great. I honestly think that was the easiest 3-plate bench of my life, especially compared to my 1 rep max attempt back in December. Yeah, it felt pretty damn good. Next up, I decided to go for, I didn't want to jump to 365 immediately because going up 50 pounds is definitely a big shock to the body. I decided to do something which is still a lifetime PR, but not as crazy. This is me attempting 350 pounds. I gotta be honest, it was kind of slow. It was kind of hard. This is definitely a lot of weight. This is a 35-pound PR over what I did in December. This is a lifetime PR. But even then, I mean, if I'm gonna be going for 365, 350 should, I'm not saying it should be easy. It's still like 99% of my 1 rep max or 98, but it looked like an RPE of like 9.5. Like I'm 100% sure I could not have gotten a second rep on that. Maybe another 5 or 10 pounds, but I don't know. And this is where I had to make a little bit of a hard decision, guys. I gotta be honest. I had to make a hard judgment call. I decided to bump up the weight. I'm gonna keep going, but I'm not gonna make that big of a jump. This is me attempting 360 pounds.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
No. Looking back on the footage, it wasn't that bad. Like I got it a solid 5-6 inches off my chest. I feel like I was pretty much at the halfway mark, but no guys, 360 is not in the cards, which means obviously 365 is out. And I know it, I mean, at the end of the day, like I should still be happy because I am, look, I gotta be honest, I am still happy. I don't consider this a failure. It's a 35-pound PR over where I was just 5.5 months ago. It's still a lifetime PR, more than I've ever gone in my entire life. The first time I've ever broken, I've never even done in the 340s, let alone the 350s. But I do have to understand that I might have bitten off a little bit more than I can chew when I set that goal. I actually broke the rule I mentioned just in my previous video last week when I was talking about goals, and I said goals need to be RCS, realistic, challenging, and specific. I mean, it's specific and it's damn well challenging. But maybe saying, hey, Igor, in 5 months, you know, from December, back when I hit 315, I need you to jump up 50 pounds. Yeah, that might have not have been that realistic. Could I have been happier? Of course, but it really is, you know, that saying that people say, like, shoot for the stars, even if you miss, you'll hit the moon. 365 was my stars, 350 is my moon, and still pretty cool. And I'm proud of that. Okay, guys, the moment of truth, it has finally come. I have tried to put this off. In the summer, when I'm lean, every other photo was just like, yeah, check out the abs. And in the winter, it's kind of like, oh, you know, put another hoodie on. Oh, have you seen my bench press? Yeah, my body, yeah, don't look at me. My dog got scared by that. She was freaking out. She was like, what the hell's going on? I'm okay, baby girl. Say hi. Say hi to the YouTube. This is my most recent physique update. Pretty much from a body fat standpoint, this is the highest that I personally, and again, it's very subjective, the highest that I personally am okay with going. It's at a point where it's kind of like, okay, you've said goodbye to the definition, but it's not to the point where like the fat is starting to accumulate and start to hang over your belt line, at which point you have gone way beyond obviously lean bulk and, in my case, regular bulk, and now you're starting to borderline onto dirty bulk when you're going way beyond 20% body fat. Obviously, that is not my goal. This, not just from a visual standpoint, but most importantly from just a health and how I feel standpoint, this is still not bad. A good example of this would be, obviously, I recently got into rock climbing, which is an extremely like functional athleticism, body weight, intensive sport. Every time I climb for like an hour, honestly, I go home feeling like I just did like 200 pull-ups. So the fact that I was able to get into this very body weight athleticism based sports, you know, this winter, and do so at 200 plus pounds body weight, it pretty much indicates to me that like, yes, you have definitely put on some size and weight, but you haven't yet crossed over to a point where it's too much. Looking at the actual physique, especially if you cut to this footage, which was taken around 9 or 10 days earlier when I was a bit heavier, one muscle group which does stand out a little bit more than it has in the past is the chest, which is good, considering that that's pretty much what I've been focusing on heavily for the last 5 months. The chest has always been, in my personal opinion, on my frame, a bit of a lagging muscle group. So to see my chest just, you know, like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, it just pops a little more. It's a little bit more three-dimensional than it has been in previous years. That's good, especially because of the crazy amounts of volume that I have been doing with the bench press. Another group that kind of stands out a little bit would be the arms, specifically the triceps. I've always felt that my triceps, they're just like flat. You're not like the big, you know, kind of, you want like a semicircle for your bicep and a semicircle for your tricep. It's always been kind of just like flat. Like there's not really, especially when you're doing a front double or back double bicep, I never really saw much pop. And if you actually look at this back pose right here, and you compare it to the last time that I was kind of bulked up close-ish to 200 pounds, this is from around about a year and a half ago. Just looking at the arms, like they just, I don't know how to describe it. They just look like thicker, or like chunkier, or just whether it be the circumference or the overall size, or I don't know if it's like the pump or whatever, but it does seem like the arms are also another area, particularly the triceps, which in my subjective opinion, they seem to have improved a little bit. And then this pose being my back, this is always interesting. Just I love talking about it because it's just so weird how the human body is. How the rest of my body looks like it's around, is 20-ish% body fat, and for some reason my back is still like 12% body fat, or at least somewhere below 15. Again, guys, body fat distribution genetics, they are interesting. But there is still, you know, kind of a problem. When you're looking at your physique, especially in my case, it's all very subjective, and you're looking for very small improvements. Especially in my case, after training for over a decade, you know, that law of diminishing returns, it really does kick in to the point where if I'm able to put on just a few pounds of new lean muscle, I'm happy. So it's kind of hard to really see truly big noticeable changes, especially when it's covered by a decent layer of subcutaneous body fat. So one way that I like to do it, which is obviously on my channel, come on guys, come on. You know I'm a numbers guy, so we can't just go like, well, visually eyeball, I mean, I think it looks good. No, fuck that. We got some numbers to talk about. So fortunately, as many of you already know, because I'm a bit of a numbers freak, like I actually have Excel charts dating back years, documenting all these things: weight, body fat percentage, lean body mass, estimated muscle mass, all these different things. I can go back and actually compare these values, across time. So for example, take my, the last time that I was truly lean. This is the end of Ascension Season 2 back in 2017 when I was pretty much on stage competing. At this time, I weighed around 173 pounds body weight at an estimated body fat percentage of 11.9. Now, I have to be honest, that's the number that comes on the scale, but I don't think that's necessarily 100% accurate. I believe that visually looking at this physique, I was considerably lower. I don't think I was anything ridiculous like 5, 6, or even 7% body fat, but was I, around somewhere 8, 9, maybe 10% at the very most if I want to be conservative? Visually speaking, I really do think so. I always advocate when using scales like this one or any body fat measurement tools out there, whatever they are, you shouldn't look at the number and take that 100% as to what it is. If it says, hey, you went from 20% body fat to 15% body fat, that doesn't necessarily mean you're 15% body fat. You might be a little bit higher, might be a little bit lower. Who the hell knows? Again, no machine out there is perfect. But the change in the values going from 20 to 15 means that you lost 5% body fat. Don't look at the value, look at the progression over time, because that, I think, is going to be a lot more accurate. So in this case, we'll just still use this number, 11.9% body fat. This gives me a lean body mass estimated at 152.4 pounds. For those of you guys, if you don't know how to calculate that, you pretty much just take your weight and you multiply it by 100% minus your body fat percentage. So in this case, it would be 173 times 100% minus 11.9, which comes out to, what is it, like 88.1%. That's pretty much your body weight subtracted all your fat mass. So essentially it's you hypothetically at 0% body fat. And in this case, it comes out to around 152 pounds. Now that being said, a lot of people out there, please don't make this error. They believe that your lean body mass is your muscle. No, it's everything that's not fat, which includes your muscle, but it also includes your bones, all your tissues, every single organ in your body, and most importantly, one of the biggest factors and the most likely to fluctuate and most volatile factors, water weight. This is gonna go up and down dramatically. Because of this, later in about a minute or two, I'm gonna tell you some definitely higher lean body mass values. Don't think that I put on 20 pounds of muscle. I wish I did, but that's not exactly the case. Okay, jumping ahead, this is December of 2018. This is actually when I did that 315 pound. At the time, it was my 1 rep max I mentioned earlier in the video. This is me at 182.6 pounds in body weight at an estimated 13.7% body fat at 157.6 pounds lean body mass. So it's about 5 pounds more. Again, that 5 pounds isn't 100% muscle. It's a combination of muscle, water weight, and other various things in the body. Now, the heaviest that I have been this entire 2019 bulk, 209.2 pounds at 19.3% body fat, totaling 168.8 pounds lean body mass. But okay, so some of you guys may be wondering, like, Igor, you just spent all this time talking about how your lean body mass calculation, it's not great, and there's so many things fluctuating, so what the hell, this doesn't mean anything. Not exactly, because once again, I've dug through all of my pretty much years now of data, and I found something kind of interesting, and this is pretty much everything that this is based off of. Back in around December of 2016, right before I went to Australia and pretty much did like a 9-month-long cut, because I told myself, like, okay, once you're in Australia, you're pretty much gonna be on the beach 7 days a week. Probably not the best time to keep a 200 plus pound bulk physique. This is the last time before now that I was truly heavy. Looking at my data, I was actually 204.8 pounds at the same body fat percentage, 19.3%, coming out to an estimated lean body mass of 165.3. And this is important because in this case, all factors are the same. My body, for the most part, is the same. It's still me. The scale is the same. I've been using the same one this entire time. I even took it to Australia and back. And the body fat percentage is the same down to the decimal points. In this case, that's why I actually took this one specific data entry. The only difference is the weight. And because of that, this difference in lean body mass, this grand total of, in this case, it's like what, 3.5 pounds? I think this actually might be actual muscle gained. And again, it's possible that some of that is also water mass, but I think I'm gonna go with this number. 3.5, let's just call it an even 3. 3 pounds in lean muscle mass I think I may have actually put on, which if that doesn't seem like a lot to you, welcome to natural bodybuilding. Especially welcome to natural bodybuilding after a decade of doing it, pretty much really being at the tail end of that law of diminishing returns. When you get here after a decade, it slows down to like a snail crawl. But as long as it doesn't stop completely, I'm okay with that, and I still love it. Alright guys, the final part of this video is something which I'm sure a lot of you have been waiting for. It's time to talk about just how much ass did I kick at this powerlifting meet. Yeah, that kind of did not go as planned. Mostly because of this. Yes guys, because yours truly is such an amazing genius. I decided to go rock climbing 2 days before my scheduled powerlifting meet, and I ended up pretty much causing a pretty bad a strain in some of the tendons and ligaments in my actual left hand. And I was on like one of those little walls. It's called bouldering, where essentially you climb like 10 or 15 feet. You have no ropes, no harness. It's not a big deal if you jump off. It's not that far. I got to the top. And usually at this point you have two options. You can either down climb, kind of like you're going down a ladder, or you could just jump off. And I kind of for some reason decided to almost do like both. I don't know why. I jumped off, but for some reason my left hand, it didn't let go, or it let go a second too late. So what ended up happening is like 200 pounds of body weight starts dropping down with the force of gravity. My hand kind of like held on a little bit too long, and then I kind of just went and it seems like everything here, all your tendons and ligaments and all that shit, everything just got shifted up like 1 inch. And yeah, it ended up resulting in what you guys see in the photo. This is pretty much it, like, a couple hours later, once the bruising and the kind of like the internal bleeding, it really started to kick in. This, guys, is pretty much why I was not able to compete. And I don't like admitting it. Because on YouTube, you always want to be like, everything's fucking awesome, hitting new PRs, looking awesome, being awesome, holy shit. But unfortunately, guys, on my channel, I have promised you in the past that I will always try to the best of my ability to keep things 100% honest and, transparent. So to do that, I can't really avoid this situation, even as dumb as it is, because it is kind of stupid. Like the week before a competition, whether it be powerlifting, bodybuilding, sports, athletics, football, I don't care. You need to take it easy. The last thing you want to do is like, hey, I'm gonna go fucking do weird sports like rock climbing. And I wrestled with this mentally pretty much up until the morning of the competition. Like literally up until a few hours before I was supposed to compete, I still was like 50-50 on this. But at the end, I got to a point where, again, it's a shitty situation, it's a judgment call, but I had to decide, like, listen, you can compete, but are you going to be satisfied? And the answer is pretty much no, because even if I did compete, whatever number I got, whether it's bad or good, I will still think to myself, like, is this really your maximum? Or maybe is this just what you can get minus 20, 30, 10, whatever poundage it is, subtracted by this fucking stupid hand injury. And I knew for a fact that no matter what, a week or two later, I would need to re-attempt this lift. So pretty much my choices at this point were like, okay, I can try it today, even though it seems kind of pessimistic, but I wasn't feeling that good. I wasn't like, okay, time to hit some PRs. Last time I competed, I was at 100%. Today I'm coming in not 100%, not 99. I don't even feel like 80% at this point. And I thought to myself, like, this is a shitty situation. I told myself, like, no matter what, even if I compete today, 2 weeks later, I'm gonna have to reattempt this. Or I can just say, fuck it, as hard as it is, and reattempt this in 2 weeks when you're feeling better, when you took, some time off from the gym and fucking rock climbing. Yeah, that's what I decided to do. But at the end of the day, as nice as it is, it's not 100% necessary, and you can, to the best of your ability, try to replicate that. And guys, that's actually what I decided to do. You knew that there's no way I'm gonna end this bulk off without officially giving it my all and attempting this in a legit standardized situation. Not some touch and go bench press where your form is kind of like this and questionable and it's kind of like, No, but doing it standardized, objectively as clean as you possibly can. I actually decided to do, I did this once before back in 2015. I decided to do a mock meet, in this case specifically for my bench press. Essentially what I did is I walked into the gym And I treated this 100% the exact same way as a legit powerlifting meet. In terms of equipment, everything is standardized. So wrist wraps are allowed, elbow sleeves are not, belt is fine, that's pretty much it. In terms of clothing, so yes, I did wear a powerlifting singlet to a regular commercial gym, and yeah, it was a little bit embarrassing. I got a few people kind of looking at me like, what the f-? And also, in addition, most importantly, all the actual cues with regards to the lift and the form, that is also objectively standardized, which means that your butts cannot come off the bench, which is a common problem for me. Your feet and your head also have to be on the bench. I even actually did an official kind of morning weigh-in on the day that I actually did this kind of mock powerlifting meet. I actually decided to cut down my weights a little bit because I wanted to maximize not just strength, but also strength to size, pound for pound strength. I actually got down all the way to below 200 pounds at 199.6, which it seems like a lot, but to be honest, the first few pounds were super easy. I just kind of watched what I ate less high foods high in sodium. I did a little bit of water manipulation, water depletion or dehydration, which is actually kind of cool because this means that everything you guys are about to see is me attempting all these lifts at a lower body weight than the last time I competed. So to the best of my ability, this, guys, is my personal 2019 attempt at a home powerlifting mock meet. Starting off with 315 pounds, this is going to be my opener. Coincidentally, this is the exact number which was my maximum the last time I competed in 2016. I tried 320 for my third attempt and that failed miserably. So 315, second attempt in 2016, that was my absolute maximum. And here we are attempting it as my opener. Okay, that went fairly well. It's pretty much, in my personal opinion, for me, this is usually what an opener is supposed to feel like. Just something very conservative. You do this just to get on the board, just to get on the scorecard, and make sure that, like, you know, God forbid you don't bomb out, which is where you fail, either because you couldn't lift it or your form was wrong for all 3 attempts of a given lift. Obviously, in my case, we're doing bench only. Next up, second attempt. I decided that I kind of wanted to go big. This would be a 20-pound lifetime pause bench PR. This is 335 pounds, by far the most I have ever done with regards to the pause bench press.
Come on. You got it. Nice.
Fuck yeah! I gotta be honest, guys, it felt pretty damn good. In my personal case, it was almost like retribution for fucking up 2 weeks ago and not only not hitting a PR, but not competing at all. This actually, looking back on the footage, I decided that, you know what, like, look, I'm kind of happy with this, and the difficulty of this situation, I don't need to go any higher. I thought maybe about trying for 340, but I realized that, like, you know, in this situation, especially because a big problem I have in this situation, which actually kind of makes it even harder than a regular powerlifting meet, is that I actually don't have a lift off, which you could technically argue makes the lift a little bit harder because you have to expend a little bit of energy using, during this initial part of the movement, which in an official competition, you wouldn't have that. So that combined with the fact that 335 was kind of slow, kind of hard, and I was already relatively satisfied, I actually decided not to go for a third attempt. I thought to myself, like, listen, I think you're good. You know, I don't want to bite off any more than I can chew and end up with another fucking injury and be out of the gym for, 3 months or something, God forbid. So guys, that is it. I apologize if this video went very long, but yeah, I kind of warned you in the beginning. Pros and cons, but overall, I am happy with this. From a number standpoint, 2 lifetime PRs and 2 versions of the bench press, and hitting body weight size and calculated lean body mass, personal record for me. Could I have done things better or smarter? Yeah, such as not going fucking rock climbing 48 hours before a competition you've been training for months now, but you live and you learn, and I learned the hard way. But besides that, guys, overall, my verdict on the 2018 to 2019 bulk is pretty good. It's a success. It's not an overly huge smashing success, but after 10 years and the law of diminishing returns of natural bodybuilding, it's a small success, and I'm pretty happy with that.